Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Shelby. Welcome back to Seeds to Garden. It has been 2 weeks now, a little over 2 weeks that we've planted our seedlings, and I just want to give you guys an update. But look at all of our little seedlings, guys. We've got cauliflower coming up, all kinds of herbs coming up. The broccoli is doing amazing. Like I said, the lettuces are doing awesome. Up here we have more Brussels sprouts, cabbage, lettuce. It's looking awesome. So pretty excited. We're getting a really good germination rate. There's still a few seed cells that haven't come up, but they might just be taking a little extra time. I'm pretty sure this is celery. Yes, so celery always takes a little longer to germinate, which is why you plant it indoors so early. But that's why those haven't come up yet. I think they have like a 2-week incubation period, so they should be popping up any day now. And if I'm not seeing them, they are older seeds, so I will just replant them. And I do have a new seed packet too, so I might pull some from that. So I just got finished watering them as well as moving some of them around, because if you remember from my previous video, we are using shop lights, which are not exactly ideal when you're looking for grow lights, but they're a good bargain. So there's just a little bit of extra work that is involved with using a light that doesn't have quite as much lumens as maybe a grow light. So what is happening is, so some of our plants are getting just a little leggy, which is understandable. They want to try and reach for the light. So what I ended up doing was I actually reduced the amount of plants that are in each tin so that I could put them more directly underneath the light. So you'll see that they're kind of more sideways and directly underneath the lighting. So this should help with that leggy issue. I'm not super concerned because I think they're starting to get their true leaves, so I don't think they're going to get much taller than this. And some of them are doing really good. Like our borage is super close to the ground. Some of our lettuces are really doing well. They're not like stretched or anything like that, but I just want to try and keep them as happy and healthy as I can. Some people were asking me about some of the plants that I already have under my grow lights. These are actually plants that I overwintered inside. So we've got some parsley here, some lemon balm. Actually this is a cactus that's not doing the best. So I brought him down here to the light to try and give him a little more TLC. He seems to be getting some more greenery and more leaves back on him, so I think he's gonna be okay. I've got some English thyme back here. So just some odds and ends, and some of them are dying off, and that's fine. Like this parsley is dying off, but if I plan him out, parsleys are actually biannuals, so he won't come up again this year, but he'll come up the following year. So if you are planting parsley, that's a good thing to keep in mind. I always plant one parsley plant, and then the next year when it doesn't come up, I plant another parsley right next to it, so that every year I'm still getting a parsley plant that's coming up. But yeah, so this is just a little update on our little baby seedlings, and I'll give you another update in a week or so. This weekend, we're planning on planting our next batch of seedlings, so that's super exciting, and I'll let you guys know what we decide to plant and give you an update. Hey y'all, what's up? I'm gonna apologize in advance for how tired I look, but it is 9:30 at night here. I'm just wanting to give you an update on what we are working on at the moment and what we completed today. So our seedlings are doing amazing. We just finished up potting most of them, as well as replanting anything that didn't germinate. So I'm just gonna walk you through what we are working on. Okay, so let's talk about what we have been working on today. So we uppotted all of the brassicas, so cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. We did all the kale was uppotted and replanted, and everything is looking super healthy and happy. And we looked through all of the herbs. There was some that did not germinate, so we did reseed those. We also separated some, so we had one slot of cumin that had 2 or 3 plants in it, so we separated those out. So now we went from having 2 of each, we ended up having 8 cumin. So that can happen, and you don't have to save them if you know you don't have enough space, but for us, we'll just give them away or find a place for them in the garden. But these are, like I said, kale, spinach. Our lettuce is doing awesome. Look how good it's doing. So we up-potted all of our lettuce. And we also have just some miscellaneous stuff, some black sesame, cilantro. We have some borage, some spinach, rosemary, oregano. There's an artichoke in there, so just some miscellaneous items as well. We also decided to plant our next batch of seedlings, and as much as I wanted to film this all for you guys, we are a little delayed here. We should have been replanting these last week, the end of March, but it is the first week in April. It is April 2nd here, so I just wanted to get them done, just kind of give you an update on what we planted. And they're one of the last of the plants to go out, mostly because of not being frost hardy. So we usually wait until it's a lot warmer to put them out. That's why we delayed planting them until now. So let's look and see what we planted. Okay, so you'll see these are some of the seeds that we just started. So this entire flat, for the most part, is beans. So we have bush beans, both wax and green beans. We have pole beans. We also have some squash and zucchini. And that one random little flat there is English lavender, which we had to re-sow because we didn't actually have any germination with that. We get something this time. This entire flat is all peppers and tomatoes. As you guys know, I have a really hard time restraining myself with tomatoes and peppers, so yes, there is a lot. Yes, I planted more than I probably have space for, but I will figure it out. Things might have to go in pots, they might have to go in additional gardens around my house, so we'll find places for them. But basically we have 4 different types of cherry tomatoes. We have spoon cherry tomatoes, husk ground cherry tomatoes, hybrid sun gold, and hybrid cherry unicorn. So I have 4 cherry tomatoes. Those are all going to go in pots for the most part. And then as far as peppers go, we have shishito, poblano, nata peño, habanada, datil, which was a free sample, but it's apparently super hot. So we're not big hot pepper people. We usually eat jalapenos and that's about it, but why not? We'll try it. And then that other one is corbachi peppers. We have our normal yum yums, and then the Goliath jalapenos. And then, of course, just your regular orange and yellow sweet peppers. I do have one random flat back there of melons. So I have Kajari melons, and then I have Mexican sour gherkin kuka melons. Those are the 2 types of melons we have going. In the 6 slots here, I have mass sowed some tomatoes. So there's multiple seeds in those containers. And then my plan is to separate them out once they germinate. But this is just essentially to save time and space. So I did go a little crazy with the tomatoes, but we always plant Amish paste, so we have Amish paste. And then I bought a bunch of different new varieties that I was dying to try. So we have Dr. White's Yellow Tomato, Paul Robeson Black Beauty, Brandywine, and the Large Barred Boar. And then on this last flat over here, this is kind of just a random variety of different things. So in this whole flat, we have pumpkins and gourds. We have cucumbers. They're actually the national pickling cucumbers. We replanted peppermint and chamomile, stevia, and 2 different types of thyme because they did not germinate. So lots of seeds, very exciting. These will not need light until they germinate, thankfully, because I am out of space. If you can tell, I have no space left. Everything is full. Now the one positive that I have going here is we're actually going to start hardening some of these brassicas off. So this entire flat is going to be going outside every day, as well as some of the spinach and kale. So it will start to clear up some space, but not until everything gets outside. At the moment, I'm a little worried about taking these plants directly outside. They had a little bit of time outside today, and that was just because it was a really nice day. But they are a little weak. They're a little tender because they haven't really had any wind or cold air or any kind of breeze or anything to like really strengthen their stems. So I had to be super careful when I was transplanting them. So I think my plan is to actually set up a fan in here for during the day when they're not outside. And usually when you harden off plants, it's a progressive thing. So you'll put them outside for maybe an hour, and then the next day you'll put them out for an hour and a half, and the following day an hour or 2 hours. So you just kind of progressively work yourself up. Usually it's anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to harden them off. You want to be playing with them a lot, so like I'll come over and I'll just start kind of messing with them. They're a little fragile right now for me to be doing that. So I'm hoping that putting a fan down here, just as like an oscillating thing, will not only get them used to the cooler weather, but also harden up their stems a little bit. Because they all have really great true leaves, but I don't know if you can tell, but they're a little flimsy. They don't really hold up to their own. They don't bounce back like some of them do. Like this guy's doing really good. And they're doing pretty good now because I just up-potted them and replanted them. So I kind of tucked them in a little better, but they're still very fragile. Just a little bit of a seed gardener's tip. If you need to try and harden off some of your plants and you're not having the best weather, you could always try changing the temperature internally in the house, as well as just adding a fan or some other kind of disturbance to get them to harden up. So like these plants that have been outside from last year, like they go right back after I touch them. Whereas if I push these guys hard enough, they will break and fall over. So we'll set up that fan tonight, and I'm actually going to be running out to get another one of these plant stands because honestly this happens every year. We run out of space, so I think we're going to invest in another plant stand and possibly get some grow lights because we're 4 years in and I think I can upgrade from the shop lights. So I'll let you guys know what it looks like if we do end up getting some grow lights. And I'll keep you updated on these seedlings. Hopefully we get some of these guys outside very soon. So we do have one other thing that we're going to have to be working on within the next week or so, and that is getting our potatoes and our onion starts outside so that they do not rot. We actually just cut our russet potatoes to try and dry them off, but we have russets and red Pontiac potatoes. And then we also have onions. We have 2 different types of white sweet onions and shallots. So we have to get these outside sooner rather than later so that they don't sit down here and rot. If you don't know anything about potatoes, basically what happens is you can just, any place that there is an eye, you can see where they're growing out of the eyes. If you cut just that little eye out, that'll make an individual potato. So even though this is one potato, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 plants just out of this one potato if you cut them out individually. So there's different methods depending on your preference. Some people will put the entire potato in because it's got a better chance of germinating. Some will try and stretch as much as they can so they can get more plentiful harvest. There's really no right or wrong way. Just make sure that no matter what you do, you always have at least one eye in your soil, because that is the plant that needs to grow into a bigger plant. So we'll keep you updated on those, and I'll probably walk you through planting them with us. But this is just a short, quick video for you guys to give you an update. Again, I apologize if I look or sound tired, because I am. But I really wanted to give you guys this update because I feel like you're itching to see where we're at. So until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.